Hello and good evening. It's Wednesday evening, and my name is Maria. Welcome to the Latin show. It's always a pleasure to be with you guys here on the show. And yeah, it's a show about dating. You know that, about Latin dating, dating in Colombia. So, guys, go ahead and please send your questions in tonight because you know that this is a live show and we do this for you, for nobody else. So, go ahead. I'm here to answer your questions, and obviously, we have a couple of things prepared as usual. And so, as all of you know, we have our Medellin tour coming up. So we have still a couple of spots left, but we are not having a lot of spots left. So I think we have like four left. So guys, I would recommend you, if you think about it and you're on the fence, then try to make your reservation as soon as possible. Later on, I explain you a little bit if you don't know where to do that and how to sign up. There's also my email address here, afacolombia7@gmail.com. And you can reach out and ask questions, obviously, after the show as well, right? This is just right now live, but obviously, if you have any other questions, you can reach out to me and ask me. And so what we're going to do tonight is talk about not only the tour, the upcoming Medellin tour, we also will talk about scams, little lies, tricks, maybe women do, right? So maybe some things you can prevent, see if some of those things come up that might be a red flag. Anyway, I always recommend that always go a little bit deeper and ask. Don't always assume it, but obviously I will go a little bit deeper into the mentality, how to manipulate or what women do, right? Internationally or all over the world. I don't think it's only internationally, but just some things, you know, there are some prejudices. Some things are obviously real, some things are not, and not everybody is the same. But it's good to have some things already in mind, and so that you are prepared in case you are in a similar situation. And we have also interviews prepared. We have a testimonial of one of our clients, and we also have 3 women interviews prepared. You always, guys, you love that. I had one of you guys sending me a message like, oh, if you can, maybe you invite her. Can you invite her to interview her? So we're going to do this. You see, we do it on the socials, but we're also going to invite more women to the office if she wants to do an interview. So we hopefully have more women in the future doing interviews. So in case you would like to know more about somebody, we can try, right? If you write me, like, obviously, if you like 1,500 people writing, yeah, I would like to know her and interview her. Obviously, that will not be possible. But if you like somebody or whatever, you see a new profile, you would be interested. We always try to invite the woman if she has time, if she can come, is a different thing. But we always try, right? We want to make it as transparent as possible. We want that you guys know who you might meet in this different country, what is the mentality of the woman, what are they looking for. So yeah, I hope that will help. And then we also, as I said, have a testimonial, 3 women interviews, and the scams. So first of all, what I always do in the beginning of every show is, how can you go to Colombia? What are the travel requirements? What do you need to enter the country? So first of all, it's quite easy. You just buy a plane ticket. There are a lot of great connections from all over the world. Lots of you guys watching from the United States, so there are good connections from the United States. Obviously, the hubs, right? And obviously, Miami has easy connections, and also, but anywhere, you know, like the big hubs, Atlanta, Houston. So you have obviously different connections, but you also have New York. We have direct flights from New York, also to Panama. If you guys get easy to Panama, there are good connections from Panama to any of the cities, Cancun, but most of you guys are in the United States or from the US. Miami is probably the easiest. For Miami, you need like 2 hours and 50 minutes, depends on the day, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more, but usually 2 hours 45, 2 hours 50 to get here. And you can go directly to Barranquilla, I think Cartagena, and I'm pretty sure Medellin and Bogota, obviously. So, and most of the flights are pretty cheap. So I know Eric Lee is always connecting with us, and see who's connected tonight and who's sending some greetings here. So if Eric Lee is watching, he usually sends the updates from Cleveland and how the connections are from there. And so, yeah, from Miami with Spirit. I know lots of you don't want to fly Spirit. You prefer American Airlines. American Airlines also had a lot of connections coming in. But also with Spirit, if you want to do it cheap and quick, right, then Spirit is a good thing. Even on the weekend, right, if you want to not travel with a lot of luggage, you can just for 2 days. There are good connections from Miami. Anyhow, you can figure that out and see what connections are here, how to get there, but it's really easy and it's also not that expensive. So when from the other hand, you need a passport, you do not need a visa, you do not need to be vaccinated. If you are not vaccinated, you do need a test. If you are vaccinated, that means minimum 2 shots. You do not need a test. So that is the only difference. And all of you have to fill out a check migration form, which is a beautiful form you fill out online 2 days before you travel. And then you get like a PDF. And once you have that PDF, that's what they also do at the airline, like proof when you get to the airline. If you come from Europe, they're not really looking for it anymore. If you come from the United States, you still get a lot of like the American Airlines. I don't know, they still check a lot. Anyhow, I think from tomorrow on, the United States, it's changing their laws. So unvaccinated people can finally enter the United States. That was not possible in the last 2 years. And I think with that, maybe other countries might change. Maybe the check migration form, even here in Colombia, might not exist anymore, hopefully, or things like that. We will see maybe in the next 1 or 2 or 3 weeks, we have more updates. Maybe you don't even need a test in the future anymore to come. We will see, right? We're getting a little bit back more to normality. How is that the word? Back to normal. And so that's great after such a long time. I mean, it took forever, right? So, but lots of you were anyway coming, and anyway, you were dating internationally. And so yeah, you don't need a lot anymore. You can come anytime. It's easy to come. It's quite cheap. Colombia is cheap. Being in Colombia, in general, Latin America, if you go to, except Costa Rica is not that cheap, but still cheaper than the United States. Depends. Sometimes, obviously, you get prices like in the US, depending where you go in Costa Rica and the restaurants, etc. But generally, it's obviously still cheaper, but it's a lot more expensive than, for example, Colombia. Colombia is really cheap. It's a lot cheaper than Panama, for example. And so it's, like, most of you guys are really surprised how cheap it is when you come here, how much you pay for a taxi. Taxis are so cheap, how much you pay for a restaurant, for a good meal in a restaurant, for drinking a bottle of wine in a restaurant, or getting a couple of cocktails. Like, you guys are usually very surprised. So yeah, guys, hi. You're saying hi here. Let me see who's saying hi. Trey saying hi. Latin woman who don't like spicy food. Seems wrong, but it's true. I never dated a Latina who liked spicy food. Trey, in the Latinas, don't forget that there are Latinas in Mexico as well. So I think a lot of Mexican women would tell you differently. But talking about Colombia, Colombians do not like too spicy. I mean, some do like a little bit. You get like usually like a little ají salsa, which is not super spicy, but it's a little, right? Not like in Mexico. And generally, no, they don't like, in Colombia, they don't like to eat very spicy. If you want, you can always get a Tabasco sauce or a spicy sauce that you can add on the food, but the food itself is not spicy. I mean, the same as a little bit in Mexico. The food itself is usually not spicy. It's not the sauces or the chiles or the different things that comes with the food. Or obviously, sometimes they tell you it's really spicy because they add the chile. But usually, you can also put it in your own taste. So yeah, they not in Colombia. It's not very true. It's not very common. You're right, Trey, with that. You guys are already asking fresh. Scott, hi Scott. Good evening. How are you, Scott, tonight? Scott is saying, I love watching the show. It makes me feel like I'm sitting here with my friend Manuela. Yeah, Scott, it is. I hope to see you soon as well again. And yeah, Manuela is doing the show next week. And I'm happy to say that you to read it like it's your, like, it would be like your, it's like your friend, right? And that's what happens a lot with us and the clients. Like, we make friends. Today I was with a client. It was so beautiful. It was one of the VIP clients. He said, like, I feel like you're my family now, right? So that is so beautiful that you guys really connect with us, and not only with the culture, not only with the women, not only with the dating, if not also with us matchmakers, right? So that is really beautiful, and we enjoy that. Obviously, it's a very personal work, personal connection we have usually, because we're not talking about anything, right? We talk about love, emotions, like what is really important for you, and in the life of every person, this is like probably the most important thing, but it's also a very private thing. So we do build up connections, and that is really great. Not only with the woman, obviously, we with the clients, and that is part of it, right? And that is why we become friends, or it feels like family, because it does. And Scott, I'm really happy that you're connecting tonight again, and that you're here with us too. So guys, you're asking questions already, so good. Then let's get into your questions. Oh, I just heard Stephen is saying, hey Maria, I just heard that the other day that Colombia doesn't require the test anymore. That was just a few days ago. I haven't checked, so hopefully that's the truth. That's why I'm saying US is changing. So if US is changing, Colombia is changing a lot. So it wouldn't surprise me. When we get into the interviews a little bit later, I will check a little bit and see if I get any updates, what is required in Colombia. But it was until last week, it was that you needed a test. But let's check in a couple of minutes. I will check and then I give you the new, if there are any news. And hopefully it will change. It would be amazing. I mean, the test is not a big deal. It's a PC. You can do PCR or antigen, but antigen, you can do the 15-minute one. You can do any time at the airport, or it's not a self-test. You do have to go to somewhere, but you get it back in 15 minutes. And usually it's like, here it's $35. I don't know, in the US, it might be $50, $60 still. But obviously it would be so much better to not have a test at all. So yeah, we'll look into that. Definitely. Thank you for sending the comment in. Alex P saying, I need to practice my Espanol with Senorita if I want to improve. Alex, that automatically will happen. Obviously, as you date here and you meet somebody, you will try, she will try to speak English, she will try to speak Spanish, you both practice the language and you both will improve, right? So that is the normal thing. And that's the beauty. You don't not only meet your wife or girlfriend. If not, you learn a new culture, you learn about yourself, you learn a new language. So I do think it comes so much learning from this whole process about everything, just the fact that you put yourself out there. Just the fact that you put yourself out there dating is already a huge thing. And now you're putting yourself out there dating internationally. It's like really huge, it's great. And so and I know that those things, my mom always said, like, if you're courageous, you will be rewarded, like think good things attract good things. And so if you are doing what is right for you, it will be right. It's a process. It's not everything is like right away, because obviously there is a learning curve there and there are things to learn. It's a different culture. So that's why I wanted to talk a little bit about the tricks or the excuses or the things that come up sometimes, right? So that you are prepared. And so, so let me see what you guys talking. So not I keep on talking here. Colombian and Venezuelan women are caliente. I need to date to Central and South America. Alex, yes, they are. They are caliente. They're hot. They're passionate. They're caring, loving, amazing dancers. It's a lot of fun. Like Colombian women don't like to be bored. So there's a lot of always energy, a lot of things going on. They like to do new things. So they love to travel. They love to just go somewhere, and see something, watch people, whatever. So yeah, there's a lot of passion in this country. Is it common who sent Henry's asking about the letters. I think it is common for women who send emails to prospective men send the maximum photos. Yes, that's common. Some do it, some don't. Remember as well that also there's the translator in between you two, right? And also if we have sometimes women, or if we have photos, additional photos, sometimes the translator also attached them. So, right, it's not always the woman saying, hey, I want to send those 3. Right, she sent us the photos, and hey, share the photos with him, and then we do that, right? So so it's not every woman does it. Some women don't like photos or don't do too much, but generally they love photos. They love to send photos. They love to receive photos. So it's not uncommon. Like, if you are dating a Colombian woman, you will see, or Latin woman, how many pictures they take. It's a lot. Be prepared. Be prepared to take a lot of selfies. Jay is saying you don't need the test to leave the US, and to come back from Colombia, they don't check for COVID. No, if you come, exactly, going back from Colombia to the US, you don't need anything. But it was before that, when you come from the US to Colombia, you did need a test. But if it says you don't need it anymore, amazing. It doesn't surprise me, but I didn't check, actually. So that's great. Great. I'm really, really happy to hear that. That makes it so much easier and quicker. I mean, a test, as I said, it was not a big deal, but still, it's always great if you just go to the airport and that's it. Let's see. If you say something, asking anything else. Hey Maria, Chuck is saying the only email intro letters I get from Colombia will have a big age gap, 20, 25 years or more. Please explain this in the process of sending these. I get so few from Colombia anyway. Okay, so that is great, Chuck, that you're asking. So guys, if you don't get the right introduction letters, that's because of the information of your profile. So usually if you say on your profile, I'm interested in women from 18 to 50, you will get introduction letters from women from 18 to 50, right? So that's maybe not that helpful because you get a lot, which is not what you want. I mean, you will get a lot, but you get more that fit your criteria. So the more information you can put in your profile, the better, because it's actually not a machine that's sending them out. They are it's like a generalized introduction letter. It's a letter, a general introduction letter, but it's not sent by a machine, if not by us matchmakers. We have a whole team sending them out. And so the more information they have, the more accurate they can send them. And so if you, for example, say, okay, I'm wanting a woman who has no children, right? So they can see, okay, what women do not have children, and then can send you those. It's like a suggestion, right? The introduction letter is like a suggestion. Look at this profile. That is what you maybe like. Look at this general letter. If you like that letter, then why not start a communication, right? She gives you more information about herself than just in the profile. So that is the whole thing of the introduction letter. But obviously you can write to any woman. It doesn't mean that you just have to write to the ones with the introduction letters. No, there are some women who don't have an introduction letter, right? So we send obviously out the introduction letter of women where we have one, but we don't have an introduction letter of everybody. We try, but not every woman writes one. Or so, yeah. So and if you don't like the profiles, obviously you can reach out to somebody else. From Colombia, you should hopefully get a lot. I think you can get 25 per day in your inbox. I think that's the maximum. And if other offices send them maybe earlier, then maybe the Colombian offices, for example, you have Costa Rica and Mexico and Venezuela, you have like all Latin America. Obviously, all those offices send them out, and you might get more maybe from there. And so that's why I'm saying you don't have to take the suggestions. Like if you get a massive thing from Mexico or from Costa Rica or for Colombia or for anywhere, Peru, whatever, and you're not that interested, you can take off the box if you don't like it. Or I don't know if you can, I'm not sure if you can select only one country. You can do that too, right? If you say, okay, I only want to Colombia, I think you can only select Colombia. I'm not 100% sure because this is in your mail account and I'm not so much in your mail account, but I can check that for next time. So yeah, so that about that. And if there's too much age difference, then put a better age maybe in your profile information. And also, as I said, if you have children, if you don't have children, if you want children, a little bit more information about you, your hobbies, like if you love whatever, climbing mountains, and she loves also climbing, rock climbing, then there are two things in common. Or you love horseback riding and she has two horses, whatever, right? You love dogs, she has dogs, whatever. You can put anything there that helps to give the matchmakers more idea and to be able to send better introduction letters. So let me see. Eric, hi Eric Lee, good evening. Eric is saying flight price alert. $416 round trip from Cleveland to Medellin during AFA tour on Spirit plus bags. It's cheap. Round trip, yes. It's $200 and it's very last minute. We're 2.5 weeks ago from there. And so, or 3 weeks, 3 weeks exactly. And so, yeah, so that's not that far away, but it's still cheap. And guys, as I said, we have 4 spots left. So there is not so many spots. So I would not hesitate too much anymore. And really the hotel is beautiful. It's a 5-star, they say 5-star, I would say 4-star hotel to not exaggerate, but it's very beautiful. It's in the best location, has a pool, has restaurants. It's right in the mall. It's right next to all the other malls. It's really cool. Yeah, I think you guys, we will have the menu and the thing in the same hotel, because in the Hotel du Parc where we have our office, it's amazing. But we don't have enough space. The group is too big. We have to do it in 2 rooms. And so that's why we looked for the different venue. So guys, I really would recommend you signing up for the tour. I'm really, really excited about that one. And I'm really looking forward to the hotel and the venue and everything. So I think you will really like it. And let me see. Maybe we go ahead, once you guys are asking more questions, we go ahead and maybe show you an interview of one of our clients who went to the last Cartagena tour. His name is Tracy. Tracy had a great time. Tracy is really nice, and yeah, he is talking to Manuela about his experience in that city tour in Cartagena. And so same thing we're going to do in Medellin. So if you think, okay, I would love to be there too, then take the chance. It's your time now. And now we go with Tracy, and also maybe we go ahead. Some of you guys are asking about how we recruit women. So maybe we do Tracy, and we also have an interview of Lisette. She's one of our profile recruiters, and what we do with the woman, how we get to know them. She talks a little bit more about that. And so that would be her testimonial and Tracy's testimonial, and then I'll be back with you guys.
And right now we are in the city tour here in Cartagena. I'm with Tracy. Hi, Tracy. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you. I've had a tremendous experience so far. Looking forward to today's activities with the city tour. So
I'm very happy that you are joining us in this activity, because also you can have the opportunity to see around the city. And this is your first time here in Cartagena?
Yes.
Yes? What do you think so far about it?
Beautiful. Beautiful city. It's very hot,
yes.
But it's a very beautiful city.
So be prepared and have a lot of sunscreen with you, right?
See, in my bag.
Tracy, I want to know a little bit about your experience so far, because last night we have the first social night, and I want to know what do you think about that first experience?
Wonderful experience. Met a lot of tremendous and beautiful women. AFA does a tremendous job of hosting the event. Excellent food, excellent event. Excellent music, and actually last night was the night that I won a dance contest.
That is great.
So yeah, very, very happy.
Congratulations for that too.
Thank you.
And Tracy, what are your expectations for tonight? Like, you already saw a couple of girls last night. I think that we have around 94 girls last night, and today we are going to have, I think, a little bit more. What you are looking for in the girls? Like,
I'm looking for someone that I can hold conversation with, someone that's intellectual. Also someone that's beautiful, but someone that's, we have similarities and some commonalities together. So I look forward to tonight's event. Last night was wonderful. So if tonight's indicative of last night, I'm certain to have a wonderful time.
That is great, and I hope that you have a great night too. And Tracy, also one thing that I want to tell to the guys is, like, you was almost ready to came in November for the social here in Cartagena, and you couldn't make it, but you was like, you didn't give up.
Nope.
Like, you was like
determined to get here.
That is great. And
yes.
I want to know, because I know that you was very interested most of the time, for what I know about you, about Colombian girls. Like, what do make you feel comfortable coming here to Colombia, Colombian girls as your future partner?
You know, one thing that I've read about and learned about Colombian women is that they're committed to family. They're committed to the man that they're going to be with, and that's something that's very attractive too.
That is right. And one thing that most of the guys, they always say is, like, they are family oriented. They are very family oriented. So you feel that that is important?
Yes, I do.
Also
I do.
for you?
Yes.
Okay. And Tracy, also one advice that you can give to the clients that they want to visit Colombia? What can be?
Dress accordingly.
Yes.
A lot of sunscreen, but be prepared to have a lot of fun. Smile and just enjoy your life. Enjoy the time here in Cartagena.
Thank you so much, Tracy, for being here, because this is very nice that the guys, they can see a little bit about your experience so far, and I hope that you can find a great girl for
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hola, ¿cómo están? Mi nombre es Lisette. Yo soy la encargada de crear los perfiles de las mujeres en la agencia matrimonial A Foreign Affair de Medellín. Ustedes se preguntarán cómo hago para conseguir los perfiles de las mujeres, cómo llegan aquí las mujeres a inscribirse para buscar un caballero indicado para ellas. Bueno, la forma en que nosotros conseguimos los perfiles, o en que yo me encargo en conseguir a las mujeres que se inscriben en la agencia, es de manera virtual. También llegan muchas chicas o vienen presencialmente a nuestras oficinas. Cuando ellas llegan a nuestras oficinas, nosotros las entrevistamos, las asesoramos en el tema de la foto, las asesoramos. También le preguntamos un poquito sobre ellas, a qué se dedican, qué es lo que buscan de un caballero extranjero, qué es lo que realmente vienen a buscar aquí en la agencia. Bueno, realmente lo que las mujeres vienen a buscar aquí a nuestra agencia matrimonial es a un caballero, un buen hombre, un hombre caballeroso, un hombre atento y detallista. Nosotras las asesoramos en todo su proceso, en toda su inscripción. Recuerden que en A Foreign Affair somos un gran equipo que trabaja en pro de conseguirles a ustedes un amor, un verdadero amor.
Can I start? Kevin, can I start? So guys, that was Tracy and Lisette. So two different, completely different people, obviously. Tracy with his experience in Cartagena and on the city tour, and also Lisette, as you said, as you saw, she's in the Medellin office. We have several people, obviously recruiting in all the offices and all the cities. And so, yeah, it's a very important work we all do, right? Lisette, but also Manuela, ladies, Alexandra, Claudia, Diana, Laura. So there are so many working with the women as well and getting to know them and really like, yeah, getting an insight who is everybody. Joanna, like there's so many. I mean, I just forget like 50% of everybody here right now, but everybody's talking to them and like trying to find out who's serious, who's not, and who's really interested in what, right? Not everybody might be interested in marriage. Most of the women are. Some maybe just want to date, right? That is possible. So we want to know where she's at. Obviously, we would like always serious women who want to go to marriage, to start a family. But also, obviously, some of them want to know, is it possible for me to meet somebody? Is it possible for me to date somebody from a different country, like for you? Some of you come here to want to find, obviously, a wife, want to find a relationship. But first of all, you want to see, is that a possibility for me? Do I click with the culture? Do I click with a woman? Do I click with Colombia? And obviously for the same, for they, it's the same, right? Do I click with an American? Do I click with a foreigner? Is that a culture I can rely to? Because obviously it's not just, and talking to the person next door. We're talking now about the person in a different country. So that is definitely a different thing. And so, but still sometimes even we try as much as we can to get to know the woman. We ask them a lot of questions, but the women sometimes, you know how it is here, they tell you a lot of beautiful things. And so they do that without saying, yes, I'm super serious. I really want a family tomorrow. I want that. I want to engage. I want all that. And most of them do. But, you know, sometimes you don't know until you really meet and date and really get to know her in a deeper level. So that obviously takes time. And that would be my first thing with everything I would recommend you. Talking about scams, lies, or whatever, take your time. Take your time. Don't rush. Don't rush. Don't rush. Don't rush. That would be the best thing to do, because obviously I know that you guys come from far. I know you invest money. I know you invest time. Obviously, some of you cannot take like 5 months of vacation a year and just come and hang out. It's totally understandable. All of us have busy lives, and obviously there's a lot to invest, right? But if this is your wife, if this is the person you want to spend the whole rest of your life with, take the time to get to know her. That would be my best advice. Get to know her. And if you can live together, if you never have lived together, it's very difficult for me to get married, in my opinion. So obviously you get the fiance visa, and once you have the fiance visa, you can live 3 months together and all that. But if you can maybe live just a week together while you're on vacation, whatever you can do to spend more time 24/7 with that person, I do think this is very important. Because if you just go on a date, 2 hours, great. Next day, 2 hours, 3 hours, great. Next day, okay, you spend the whole day together, great. But still, you know, and then this is just for a week, and then you go home, and then you come back for another week, and you do the same thing. So it was great that at some point maybe you can spend 1 or 2 or 3 weeks together, whatever is possible. The longer the better, and really like get to know the person. Obviously, I also do not recommend, that is a different thing. It's no scams, it's just recommendations to move in right away. We have seen that as well. A couple who just met like 2 weeks ago was moving in together in 2 different cultures, 2 different language, and moved in together with the child totally confused. And so it didn't work out. Two different parenting styles, right? So two different generations. He was a little bit older. She had a different way of thinking, how to educate a child, how to discipline a child. So there were a lot of things going on which should not be on a relationship yet. You're already talking about parenting. You have not even dated. So do the steps, right? Do the right steps. Like what would you do at home? You would go on a date. You would go on another date. You would keep on dating. You would keep on getting to know that person. You would build up a friendship, a connection, and more, right? Obviously, but not right away. You would propose. I imagine when you were at home, you would not propose in a week or in a month. So that's the same thing here. And the women are sometimes not in a hurry. So that is also a different thing. So you come with this mindset, I want to get married right away and I want to do everything right away. And she say, yeah, but I'm here. Like, I mean, you come, of course, you invest, you have just a week, you take your vacation, but she lives here. So for her, she is not that much in a rush like you. So she is sometimes like irritated why men are so in a rush, and then they don't want that. And then they do like this, like, hey, let's get to know each other. And I don't think it's a bad thing. Obviously, you don't have to get to know each other for 5 years. That's normal, logical. But yes, you do need a little bit time to get to know each other. So let me see in the scams what I have here in my notes so that we look about that a little bit. So we have different tricks. It's not always a scam. Let's not call it that bad, right? There are some tricks, right? So one of the tricks is obviously on a date if she doesn't come. So what is the trick, or why do I talk about it? Because it's not a culture where you say a lot of things. It's a culture where you see it when there are the actions, right? So words are nice. They can be good words, but it's always like try to maintain it with that, but you have to get a little bit deeper there, right? And so, for example, on a date, she might just say, oh, my dad had to go to the clinic. He had to go to the hospital. They always say hospital here. I don't really know why clinic. It's not like that you could just say, I go to the doctor's office. It's like always the hospital. I don't know if they always go to emergency. I myself never go to the doctor, so I don't really know where they always take them. But yeah, so it's always like this excuse, I have to take my dad to the emergency. And so, oh, wow, it's like a really dramatic thing. Most of the times, like there might be somebody sick or not, but most of the time it's just an excuse. Or she got sick, right? Or she has whatever she has. Tomorrow she has an exam. Like, obviously, there are lots of, or she eats some seafood and it was bad for her. So there are those little excuses for a date. Can be obviously that she forgot about it or whatever, or she was just not interested. So what happens in this culture, they are not that honest in the moment. So that's why I tell you sometimes, guys, women do not say no here. They always say yes or nothing. But nothing is already no. So if you're texting with her, if you don't get anything, like nothing, like no answer is sometimes an answer, right? So, but just that, it's not the culture where you be like always upfront with everything. So things they do sometimes to get money from you, right? Some women do obviously think, okay, now I'm dating a man from a different country, so maybe I can get something out of it, which is not only love, especially when you date very big age differences. I know that you guys don't really want to hear that, but really it is like that. The bigger the age gap, usually the bigger the manipulative, or where you can get manipulative, where she can get, right? Because she knows obviously that you say, oh, now I'm having this 20 younger woman with me, so I have to please her, right? How do I please her? Obviously I spend, and that is what she loves. But and that is obviously also, that is I'm always finding the balance, right? Obviously it's good to spend a little bit on the woman you like. I don't say it's a bad thing, like to buy her something to make her feel special, but obviously they take advantage if they know. So that's why I'm saying you have to be always, it's a fine line, and it's very difficult to find that fine line. So that that's why I'm saying, if you have a question, ask us. We see it very quickly. It took us a while, it took me a while to see it. And you always say, oh, that is so sad, or I'm so sorry for you, and oh, how can I help? That is usually like what happens. Oh, how can I help you? You're such a poor thing. And that is the card they play, like, oh, I'm such a poor thing, like, let me help you, and you guys want to be the savior. And that's what you always do. You're amazing. Men are amazing. Men always want to save us and want to protect us, and us women, right? And want to help us. And you are there. You're the rock. You want to be there. And so that you want to prove to her. And I think that's an amazing characteristic of a man. And I think it's very unfair if a woman takes advantage of that. But unfortunately, it happens sometimes. Not often, but it does happen. generally letting you know, guys, that if a woman does ask about getting money from you, it's not necessarily always, it's not the best flag, but it's not always a thing to say, no, I'm not talking to you anymore. I'm not doing anything with you. You're a bad woman. No, also not, right? We're talking about the traditional dating culture. The traditional dating culture is the man, the provider, even while you are dating, even if you're not married, not engaged, not anything, you're in a relationship, you still provide, not everything, not all the time, but yes, you do take that role on very early in the dating. And that is the next thing. They are expecting that, they are used to that men do that. And then obviously if there's a huge age difference, if there are different interests, then obviously they take a lot of advantage of that. So what do they say? For example, my grandmother is in the hospital, or my dad, or my son, or my sister, or my mother, or my neighbor, or whoever, right? Somebody's in the hospital and needs urgently money or medicine, or has a surgery coming up. As I said, please don't take me wrong. There are cases where it's the truth. And there are cases where women ask for money where I would say, it's okay, why don't give you her a little bit, right? If you like her, if you think it's going in the right direction, why not? You're helping her. And she has a difficult time. I mean, I tell the guys all the time, here people earn $250, $300 maximum a month. And so obviously there's not a lot of money, you know, and if you're a single mom raising a child, it's not a lot of money, but you have extra. So everything you can get extra obviously is a huge help. So you cannot always be mad or blame everybody, but you don't also have to be responsible for the problems of the other person right away in the beginning. And that's what they do sometimes as well. They bring like, oh, I have so many problems, solve them for me. Yeah, but you just met, right? You just went on one date. I'm not here to solve all your problems. I can try to help you whatever I can, but this is not my responsibility. And you guys, that is my next really big recommendation. You can say no. If she asks, oh, this bikini is so beautiful, it's like just $100, no, right? We just met. You don't have to say no, but you can like distracted a little bit. Sometimes I recommend you take a translator with you, because the translator will see it. We had a translator like a week ago on a date, and it was that, like, she wanted $100 bikini, and the translator said, hey, why don't we go in this store? And in the end, they got one, I think, for $30, you know? And it's not about the value, but it's about why does it have to be $100 bikini if it's just a normal first date, right? It was the first date. So yeah, so you guys can say no. And I know that I see it with you. It's like the psychology of the man. You don't want to say no to a woman if she asks for something. Like, you want to be that person who wants to be generous. You want to be giving. You want to be that. And that is all great, but you can say no, and you're allowed to say no. It's your right. It's your money. It was your time, your energy. And just because she wants your money, you can say no. And if you want to give her a gift, that's great, but don't let you manipulate in that. Okay? So another thing is, I don't have the money to pay my rent. I have to move out of my house, you know, and I have to live on the street, or I have to move in with my family. And so at some point you start paying the rent every month. And also, I again say it's not a bad thing. At some point, the woman does expect it. And I would say at some point as a man, why not paying part of it, or maybe something of it, or maybe even paying the rent? But I would be careful, when is that time to do so? And I would start slowly. You guys sometimes pay everything right away. No, say, okay, hey, I can help you, but I cannot help you with all the rent right now, but I can help you with the electricity bill, whatever. Or I pay the electricity and the water bill. It's not here, it's like whatever, $100 maybe. I don't know. And rent is usually also not a lot. For you guys, that's the other thing. Like, for you, it's not a lot of money. But obviously, you don't want to be that ATM, and you don't want to fear that somebody's all the time taking advantage of you. As I said, on the other hand, the woman do want a man who spends, who is generous, and also a good woman wants that. So you have to keep that in mind and find the balance. But don't just spend and spend. And if you spend a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there, so that you keep that attention going, but don't spoil too much, okay? Because you're just making your own, how you say it, you're digging your own grave. Maybe not that extreme, but yeah, a little bit. So same thing, I have no money for rent, I cannot pay my college, I cannot pay university, I will drop out of school. So it's a guilt. She generates guilt, like, oh no, poor thing, obviously education is important, let me pay your university, right? all those little things. My phone broke. That is one of my favorites. My phone broke. It breaks all the time, you know. Or my phone got stolen. That's a different. The next one. Again, guys, please. Phones do break and phones do get stolen. It is sometimes definitely also the truth, and especially if you are already in a further part of the relationship. But phones are a thing that they always want and always ask for. So the phone thing is a thing. What is I would. It's a very common scam, you know, scam. But yeah, she asked like, oh, my phone broke, or I have that job where I want to be in Instagram. I want to sell my bikinis, and my phone doesn't take good pictures, so I do need that. Yeah, and obviously you want to help her. Talking about business, she said maybe let's start a business together. Or why don't you invest in a business? That can also be great. But it can also lead to a scam, right? So if you have, obviously, there are women who have a business mindset. There are women who have really good intentions. Like, please don't think most of the women, I would say like 80%, 85, 90% have good intentions, right? But there are 10 to 15, 20, maybe not, you know? And so be aware of that and don't trust blindly. Like from your culture, usually you're told like what people say is what people do. And like usually you trust if somebody gives you his word, you trust in that word. Yes and no here. You can obviously do one, distrust everybody, but also don't go blindly in everything. Yeah. So investing in a business can be great, but then also get a lawyer, get a consultant, get somebody professional who speaks the language, who can assist you, who can help you, can look in the print what is really what you're signing or what is really the business you're starting or where's your money going. Yeah. The visa process. Oh, wow. That is a very important thing. And it is very sad, unfortunately, but I have seen this one. I have seen that there are no scams like in the Ukraine, like there are no those restaurants. The women are not that materialistic in general, but there is this one with the visa. And I think that is like the most difficult one because you guys get very easily trapped in this one. So as I said, some of you have a lot of pressure. You want to get engaged quickly. You want to start the process because the visa takes time. The visa takes a year, or hopefully soon a little bit less. We're getting better, I think, now with the 3 years later. And so the visa is getting better, but still you invest a lot of time. And so you think once you, like usually you guys ask to get married, you get engaged before you start the visa process. So for you guys in your mindset, I'm engaged to this person coming from your culture. It's like, okay, she will be my wife. I will provide for her. It's serious. I'm going to pay for her rent. I'm buying a car. Let's get an apartment together. Some of you do that even before that, so be careful with that. But yeah, like, so you are trusting and you're sending money every month because she's your wife. You're planning the whole life together. You're buying the furniture. She's talking about that. But keep in mind, you're always maintaining a long distance relationship throughout that year. And that gives her a lot of room to play, unfortunately, right? So I'm not saying you don't have to be controlling, not distrustful all the time. But yeah, obviously you're long distance dating. She is here, you are there, and you are sending money every month. Let's say you're sending whatever. Let's say you're sending $500. $500 are like 2 million pesos here. Minimum wage is like 1.3 million. So it's like a little bit like 30% more than the minimum. And so you pay like 30% than a salary per month. Or you give it to her, not paying, you give it to her, right? So that she doesn't necessarily has to work. And now and then she wants a car and she wants that other thing. And as I said, you give it already to her. So then the day of the visa, once you can like, oh, visa through, it took you a year. You did that 1 year long distance. You came every 4 or 5 months for a week. While you were here this week was an amazing week. It was amazing. It was beautiful. You had an amazing time with her. It was just great. And then you go back and it's still great. You're talking every day, whatever. But still, you're paying every month, right? And then once the visa process is through, and she has the visa and she can go, she says she is not like she's not feeling it, or it's not like the right connection, or she cannot see herself, whatever, and she never goes. So the scam is not going into the United States and getting the visa and staying there. The scam is living 1 year of you providing, you know? And so that is a sad thing, and keep that in mind. As I said, always, if you don't know if it's appropriate, come to us, ask us, hey, is it appropriate if I pay that? she's asking me for that. Do you think I should do that? We are just dating for 1 month and she's asking me to pay her rent. Should I do that? Things like that, right? And so we give you a little bit feedback. Some things are common sense that you should not do, but some things are culturally, yes, appropriate. So as I said, it's also, again, a fine line and finding the balance of doing it right. So let us know if you need help with that. We are here, and ask any questions if you have them. So my family, they need help. My mother, my brother, my aunts, my grandparents, anybody can have any problem, so they need help. So you can help anybody all the time, and sometimes you have to put boundaries. You have to put limits, right? Okay, let me help your mom, but I'm not helping 5 of your cousins, whatever, right? It's not like in the Philippines. Like I heard in the Philippines, like usually you meet and you marry the whole family. I mean, you do marry the family here too, because they are very important, but it's not that you have to provide for the whole family, or you have to whatever. But obviously some families do take advantage. Oh, there's this American now in the family, so yeah, let's take advantage of that. He has all the money in the world. And that is the thing that everybody thinks, oh, you're from a different country, so you have all the money in the world. And that is not necessarily true. I mean, most of you guys are okay, doing okay, right? But life is expensive. You have to hustle, you have to work a lot to make it happen. And so they don't see that sometimes where you actually come from. And they say, oh, yeah, we're from a different country. They all have money, you know? So yeah, obviously not everybody's like that, but just keep that in mind. Same with taking out the family, or taking family on the family vacation. That does happen. Like you want to go out and then, oh, I want to invite my sister and her husband. Okay. Now my nephew also wants to come. And now my niece also. And the sister of my and the friend of the niece also. And so at some point you get like to 15 people, you know, like, okay, I just wanted to have dinner with you, or maybe your mom and your dad. Now we're 15. So obviously it's great, and you can do that, and it's part of the fun, and it's part of dating, and, you know, having a Latin family. But you're not responsible for invite everybody to everything all the time. The thing is the fact that you're a foreigner, they might expect that you do pay, and so you pay then for 16 people. You know, as I said, Colombia is still cheap, or it doesn't make such a huge impact as like you're doing it in the United States or in Europe, but still, you know, in Australia or wherever you're watching right now. But still, it does make a difference, you know, and it is not that cheap either. Sometimes it had to happen. The guy wanted to go to Cartagena. The girls from Medellin. Oh, let's go to get away from Cartagena. Can I take my sister? Yeah, sure. Take your sister. Okay, the next sister, you know, and the next sister and the next one. So you get me. You see where I come from. So a very, very different, different cultural thing is the engagement ring. So once you propose, don't think you will get that back if it doesn't work out, right? So some women might give it back to you because they're just good women and saying, yeah, take it. I don't want to give that to you. I don't want that thing. But it's not. I think in the US you have like it's like a engagement ring is like a contract, like a commitment. And if that contract commitment is not done, you give that ring back because it's like that, you know? No, here not. If you give a ring, if you give a jewelry, if you give a necklace, if you want to do whatever, emeralds, diamonds, whatever you want to give to that person. I mean, I had guys who give a lot of jewelry to the woman and then made a lot of stress that she didn't give it back and that she stole it or whatever. If you make a gift, and the same with an engagement ring, if you ask to be engaged and it's an expensive ring, don't expect to get the ring back. It's a gift here, you know, you gave it to me, you asked me, I was saying yes. Maybe she changed her mind afterwards, but she will not give you that ring back. She will make a lot of things happen to not give you that ring back. And I have seen it. Unfortunately, I've seen it, but it's different cultures. And asking me, I'm also from a different culture. I would not know how it's in my culture, but I think you would keep it too. I don't think you have to give it back. I mean, you would probably give it back because you say, I don't want that thing with that person, and there's a meaning behind it. But if it's a beautiful diamond ring, I mean, you know how much a diamond ring costs. So be careful if you're not sure if it's very quick. Maybe don't invest in the most expensive ring. Then we had it on the other hand. The guy did not invest in an expensive ring. I mean, he did get engaged like in a month or 2 months also quite quickly, and bought a, I think, second-hand or different type of ring. And I mean, it didn't work out with the woman, so probably was not a bad thing. But if you think that is obviously the right woman, don't go also the cheapest way, right? Always a balance, always try to be the middle if you like her, obviously. But the most important thing is that you really get to know the person. If you know her by heart, deeply, you will not have a problem with that engagement ring. Yeah. And there's a last one. It is not that common. It hasn't happened to a lot of clients I've heard, but it is something to keep in mind. And this is the I'm pregnant card. It does not happen a lot. It doesn't have happened. I haven't happened personally with any of the clients, but I have heard about it. It's like if there's a fight, if there's a crisis, jealousy, financial need, whatever, I want to keep you with me, because you would think for 9 months, probably, you know, or at least for the first 4 or 5 months, probably not for 9, because at some time you will see it if she's not pregnant. But I mean, it takes 4 or 5 months to see it, or 4 months at least. So, yeah, I mean, she can play a lot of things, a lot of drama, a lot of things she can do in 4 months, right? So if she says she's pregnant and you're not sure that you were the one, or that you, it's true, I had a client who had that happen. Sorry about it. I did have a client who had that happen, but it was not from him. So yeah, so that is the thing. You have to really check if it's the truth, if it's from you, and if not, if you don't think it's possible, right? Or just do a blood test, do a test, let her make a test, that she send it to you, or watch her doing it, whatever, but try to get a test and don't just believe in her words, right? In general, if there are things where she wants money, where there's something like my rent, like they kick me out of the apartment or whatever, try to always get a proof. Okay, if they kick you out, did they send you a letter? Is there something like, is there like a thing from the bank? Is there something, you know, from the electricity bill that they will cut off your service? Send me something, you know, ask for screenshots, ask for photos. If you don't know where she's at and you think she's lying, ask her for a photo, ask her for a video, and just try to keep an open mind that not everybody is always like wanting the best. Most of the guys and most of the women do. Same as for the women. Women also have to be also aware, right? But it's a different awareness what women have. You guys have a different one, but you have to be aware that those things can happen. Most of the time they don't. Sometimes it's really not that bad. Sometimes of you guys like, oh, she asked me for money, la, 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 la. Yeah, it can happen. Like sometimes you have a sick son and you really don't know how to buy that medicine, and she needs like $10 from you. Send her the $10, you know, or the 50 or whatever. Like it's always like how much is, like, what balance is it, right? One more thing is also with the translators. We have usually very amazing and great translators. We had that in the last show, I think, talking about a little bit, but we also sometimes have things happening with the translators. So it's very important. And that is why I really always say, guys, talk to us. If you need something, talk to us. If you want the translation time, talk everything with us, because we are trying with a woman, we're trying with everybody to provide you with the safest and best service possible. Most of our translators are amazing translators, amazing people, but some of them also take advantage. And I haven't seen, unfortunately, in the last 2-3 weeks, unfortunately, a little bit more than I would love to. I had a couple of complaints, unfortunately, with some of the translators, some of them in a tour, where usually the translator should look out for you, right? They should like look out that the woman does not spend, like, for example, you're in a restaurant and she doesn't have to order like the 3 most expensive plates on the thing. If she wants to, great. But if she at least wants to, okay, but the translator should not do the same, right? Or saying things like, oh, the translator, oh, he's going to pay it, so order whatever you want. Yeah, of course, the woman can order whatever you want, but you know, you always want to keep a little bit the safety and the money of the client obviously in your mind. So translator do that, that's not great. We had translator, oh, my phone broke, I don't have a phone. We had translators like, my computer is broken, I'm working from home, so I cannot work anymore. Can you help me? You know, whatever. My son is in the United States and he needs help in the embassy. Can you do that? So translators will become your friends, which is great. As I said, they're amazing people. Most of our translators are beautiful people. And we have a lot of trust with a lot of them. But some are new, some we don't know that well, some, you know. So if you have any issues, please let us know. And if you have issues in the future, please let us know too, because they are really, that should not happen, right? And so always please talk to us and let us know there, because really we try to help you in everything you can so that you get the best possible experience and the most sincere experience. So what else, guys? I think you might have some questions. Let me see. What are the pregnancy scams is more prominent with the working girls. Stay away from them. Yes, that can happen, but I also had it with not working girls. I had it with that client one, and I know another person where it happened. They were no working girls. It was like, I want to get you, and obviously you think I'm pregnant, so stay with me, pay whatever, right? So, but yeah, be a little bit careful there with the pregnancy. Is it kosher to propose with a cheap ring, then get her especially fitted for a more expensive ring after she says yes? I think so. I mean, I would like that the would could be that the cheaper ring looks nice, right? But I do think if you once you get a little bit like we can say, hey, this is just the like our commitment ring, and then once we get there, we get a better one or a newer one or whatever. Like let her know and let her know that she can. Some of you guys let them select whatever they want for the engagement ring because it's obviously a thing. Oh, we talk about the engagement, blah, blah, blah. Yes, and as I said, most of the women are great women. Once you get engaged, most of them are really great. But yeah, so McKissick, I would say you can do it. I would just let her know after she said yes. Why should a 52-year-old guy in the US take the AFA Colombia tour rather than the other AFA destinations? Track. Wow, there's not really like, I would not say there is a rather. I think any destination that you feel is right for you, just go there. There's a huge difference between the Philippines or Asia, Latin America, and Eastern Europe, right? So if you say I'm really attracted or I really would love to explore Eastern Europe, then do that, right? If you say, oh, I'm attracted to Asian women, or I really love the mindset, or I really would look for that kind of type of woman, go there. Why Colombia and then the other destinations? I mean, for me, Colombia, if you ask me personally, why Colombia for me? Because I do know the other Latin American countries, have traveled a lot all over the world. For me, Colombia is just a very warm, welcoming and colorful, exciting place. It's like people are friendly, warm, positive, positive mindset, you know, like be grateful for everything you have, the small things. And it's just like they make you feel like in family, they make you feel at home. And that was for me a huge difference. And I'm a woman, I'm not dating here. I mean, I'm dating. Yes, no, I'm not dating here. I have my Latin American husband, he's from Argentina. So, but yeah, so that is definitely something to keep in mind, that Colombia is a very warm and welcoming place. And I love that. So I would, that is why I would go to Colombia. The women are beautiful. They're very attractive. So if you ask me about the beauty with other destinations, obviously there are other destinations who have very attractive women. But I do think Colombian women do look very nice. They're very attractive. They're very attractive ones. And they're very nice, you know, they're very nice people. They're just very warm people, very caring. They want to make sure that you're right, that you're okay, you know, and that I love that they take so much care. They're very attentive. That's what they always say. I want an attentive man. That's what they are. They're very attentive people. What if you guys started doing open panel, invite multiple women to chat on Wednesday? Breezy, yes, actually, we were thinking about having multiple women. Sometimes we invite them. We also were thinking maybe to do even a live matchmaking with some of you guys. So once we get that idea a little bit more explored, so you can apply. You could be live and date live with a couple of women, and so you can apply, fill out a form. So if you want to be one of the selected profiles, because obviously you have to select the profiles, right? If I have 4 women who wouldn't a man like that and like that, like that, I would obviously invite a man who is matching their criteria. So I need your profile information. I would need a couple of information photos from you so that I can invite you to the show. But we will organize all that. I will provide a link where you can sign up then to provide with your full profile information if you want to be part of the live matchmaking. So we would love to do that. And also, why not inviting multiple women and you can chat with them and ask them questions. So yeah, we will work with, there will be lots of things coming still. We're still working on it. We just started with the weekly thing, like what was it, 1 or 2 months ago, and we have so many things going on at the same time. So we're just getting everything right now going, but you will get more things will come. Law dog, I lived in Bogota for 18 months. Wow, amazing. That is great. And want to come back this year permanently. Wow, cool, really cool. Let me know how we can help you. Find my naranja media. Yes, my half orange, my better half, my soulmate. Yes. So Law dog, reach out to me if you want. It's AFA Colombia 7. If you want to come back permanently, if you want to date, if you want to go on dates, if you want to meet somebody, let me know. This was a difficult conversation and you explained it very well, Maria, Dave. Thank you very much, Dave. Thank you very much. if they ask for money before you meet in person, before you know them or their family, it's a red flag. I do agree with you, Dave. Yes, before you meet, definitely. And even after you met, if you had only one date, you know, I mean, she can ask, but you can say no, right? So I think always people can ask and you can always say an answer. And that's the thing. Lots of you say then yes because you feel guilty. You want to help. That's why I'm saying you're a good man, you know. But it's okay to say no. If she asks, then you just say no. You know, it's not such a big deal. And then you will see she keep on asking and she see what is she doing, because you have to put them limits. You have to put the limit. You say, hey, I can help you so much, or I cannot do that, or until here and no further. And that is where they learn. If you don't put the limit in, if you don't say that is no, I'm not doing that, you know, I don't feel that, we are there right now, we just met, I think I can help you in the future once we get a little bit more serious. Just explain it to her and tell her, right? I can send you, if she asks, oh, I need $300, I'm sorry, I can send you right now 50 or 70 or whatever, anything. Or if you don't want to send anything, that's fine too, just say no. Do the Colombian women think any less of men who own condos and townhouses as opposed to houses? No, no, not at all. Here, lots of people live in the city. Lots of people live in apartments. Lots of people have no problems living in apartments. If you live a little bit in the outer suburbs here, like if you go a little bit out of the main thing, you do get more little houses, but they're little tiny houses. So for most of them, it's not a difference, because you guys don't live in very, very tiny flats and you don't live in tiny houses. So no, there's no difference. I haven't seen, no, I mean, some want to live more in the countryside, some want to live more in the city. In the city, it's more common to have a house, to have an apartment. No, Melchizedek, no problem at all. Mark, I would probably get lost down there. I don't think so, Mark. You have us. We help you. Christopher is saying, oh, what do you mean get lost down? You mean with the dating? No, Mark, you wouldn't. You wouldn't. We, as I said, we were here. We would help you. So if you need any advice, that is sometimes you guys, you don't ask for the advice. You obviously do your own thing and everything. But if you can just ask, you know, hey, this is happening to me. Do you think that's normal? This and this happened. Just like give me a brief thing, like this and this happened. I did this and this and this. Do you think it's normal if she does this like now? Do you think it's normal that she asked for that? And then we can give you a feedback. Anyway, guys, I think I talked to you about that as well. I'm working on helping you and providing you an after matchmaking program. So where I will talk about all those things in a lot more detail. And we're going to do a lot of more like dating coaching afterwards, like relationship, like once you met that person, not so much dating coaching, not like more the relationship once you have that connection going with that person, how to keep the connection, because lots of you have a connection, but because of the cultural differences, the connection goes away. And so I would like to be there, we would like to be there in the cultural differences and help to support you a little bit more. And then also obviously to see the scams, right? You guys can always talk if you want. We're probably going to do like a weekly or once per month, every 15 days, depends on the amount of the program you're choosing, like weekly calls with me or with Manuela or with Ginella. And so then we can always discuss if that is normal right now. What's going on in your relationship? Is that normal? Is your communication well? What is she asking? What are you wanting? Are you on the same page? And you will then feel if that's really the connection. So I think we can see that there are a lot of connections, but sometimes you struggle alone afterwards. You're doing great while we are there and having an interaction, but sometimes afterwards it's gone, you know? And so that is where I want to help you a little bit more in the future. I know you're based in Poblado. Which do you prefer? Laureles is flatter for walking. Christopher, yeah, we are based in Poblado because for us it's just the best place to be, especially in that whole Milla de Oro and also the other part of the Poblado, because it's just the most touristed part. You can go out, it's very safe too. And so Poblado, there are really nice hotels, and then Poblado, great restaurants, everything is very there and very convenient. So for us, the Poblado is a great place to be. For somebody to live in Medellin, I still love the Poblado also for living, but some people say it's too touristy for them and they move to Laureles. And Laureles is fine. Lots of Americans are living in Laureles, and it's a nice place, but it's not as touristy. It's more local, and that is what a lot of people want after a while. So, but both is, and you said Laureles is flat. You don't have to go uphill on the time Poblado. You have to go uphill, but most of the time you take a taxi, so you don't walk. I'm moving to Colombia in September. Amazing. Can I pay to go to the socials? Jade, you can and you cannot. Like usually you have to sign up for a tour. So if the tours are sold out, you cannot just sign up for the socials. But sometimes we have very last minute cancellations, which means like 1 or 2 or 3 days prior. So if you live in Colombia, if you live in Medellin and you are flexible, I can definitely let you know if you have a last minute cancellation 1 or 2 days prior, and then you can go. Or if the tour does not sell out, very last minute, we have like 1, 2, 3 days, still a spot left, and it doesn't sell out, then I can give you a spot. But most of the times right now, the tours are selling out. Most of the times I do not have only social spots available. I had last tour, I had one available because the client decided on Saturday, he went to the Friday one, but on Saturday he decided not to go because he went on a tour before and he had a connection with somebody else. So he decided he wanted to focus on that connection. That was great. Usually I'm not not going to social, but in that case it was great. And so we had a space available on that same day. We were able to fill it because we had a client in the city, but it was on that same day. So I don't usually have a lot of time ahead. But if you're flexible, definitely let me know, sign up, or write me an email, and then I let you know once we have more information how we're going with if we have a cancellation or something. Guys, we're already over time here. Let me see if we have any other urgent question, and if not, we're going to watch but let me get that. We watch our last our 3 women for the testimonials. So let me see. Eric is saying, I'm hoping to give a cracker Jack ring with a promise of a better ring later, and of course she can pick the ring. I don't know what is a cracker Jack ring, but I imagine it's coming out of a cracker. I don't know. But yeah, give her, as I said, give her a nice ring, like not a super nice, super wow, super expensive, like whatever, something which looks nice, right? Looks nice. And then, as I said, give the promise to maybe get a letter one. I have a lot of Venezuelan and Brazilians are writing me. Do you have an office in those countries? No. And actually, it's very difficult to travel to Venezuela right now. I definitely would not recommend you it. Actually, cannot really go. You need a visa, and I don't think that's easy to get. And it's complicated to date in Venezuela right now. So writing for me doesn't make so much sense, because what you're going to get out of it if you're not able to meet. She can come to Colombia, but if she doesn't have a passport, she has to get a passport. The passport is like $250, and that takes like 1 or 2 months. And so it's not that easy, and you have to pay the flight. The flight to Colombia right now is $800 to $900. And then you have to pay the accommodation. So getting her here, it's not that cheap, So I would rather maybe focus on the Venezuelans we have in Colombia. We do have a lot of Venezuelan women in the Colombian database, in Colombia living, and that makes it a lot easier. So if you're attracted to Venezuelans, I would recommend you. To Brazil, you don't need a visa. You Brazil, we don't have an office, but to Brazil, if you want to go and you want to meet, and I would recommend you that if you ride with somebody there, that you say, hey, let's meet, let's do this. And let's tell her that, because if not, you might stay forever in conversations. You don't want that. But in Brazil, you could go on an individual introduction with that person. So if you say, hey, I like Maria Paula, she's in Rio de Janeiro, you could book a trip to Rio and meet her in Rio, of course. And obviously, the agency will help you to set up the date, no problem. So guys, let's just get into our last testimonials for tonight. And then I'll be back in a second after the testimonials to answer your last questions. And then I'll be back, me and Manuela will be back next week. But let's get to our women tonight. And we have the following IDs so that you are knowing, if you want, you can reach out to them. You can write them a letter, you can do a video call, you can go on a date. So anything you want to do, let me know, I can help you. So we have Paola 207499. We have Jennifer 210297, and we have Sylvia 209642. So I see you in a bit.
Hoy estamos con Jennifer, su ID es 210-297. ¿Cómo estás, Jennifer?
Muy bien, muchas gracias.
¿Cómo te sientes?
En esta ocasión me siento muy contenta, me siento muy alegre, es un espacio muy agradable.
Bueno, me alegra mucho. Jennifer, ¿qué expectativas tienes? ¿Qué esperas encontrarte hoy en este evento?
Realmente espero conocer personas agradables, en la medida que se pueda lograr encontrar el amor de mi vida, alguien con quien pueda compenetrar y poder encontrar el cariño.
Qué lindas esas palabras, Jen. Bueno, cuéntanos un poquito a todos esos chicos que te están mirando, ¿a qué te dedicas?
Soy nutricionista, soy de Barranquilla, trabajo acá en Medellín hace ya 11 años, soy una apasionada por lo que hago, me gusta mi labor social.
Qué lindo eso. ¿Cuántos años tienes?
Tengo 38 años.
No, una edad súper divina, y con ese vestido, a ver, una vueltecita con ese vestido, mejor dicho, o sea, un vestido rojo reluciente para esta noche de evento. Ahora vamos a hacer la dinámica de sacar unas preguntitas. Jen, vas a sacar una preguntita. Dale, y ahorita sacamos la otra. A ver, vamos a mirarlos allá.
¿Qué 3 deseos le pedirías a una lámpara mágica?
¡Wow!
El primer deseo sería poder cumplir a cabalidad la crianza con mi hija. Tengo una hija de 13 años. El segundo deseo, poder acompañarla en su caminar. Y el tercero, lograr encontrar una persona con quien pueda disfrutar todo el camino de mi vida.
Qué bonito eso. Vamos por otra preguntita.
¿Cuáles son los valores que más te gustarían en un caballero? Bueno, idealmente el respeto, ante todo una persona honesta y una persona sincera.
Lo más bonito, ya saben lo que está buscando Jennifer, así que chicos, si ustedes se consideran caballeros respetuosos, responsables y amorosos, aquí está Jennifer para poder conversar con ustedes. Jen,
la última. Listo. ¿Eres de mente abierta o más conservadora? Realmente pienso que todo debe tener un equilibrio, ¿cierto? Hay momentos en los que debemos de tener apertura para las situaciones y otros los que realmente se debe ser conservador. Siento que estoy como en un término medio.
Bueno, interesante saber eso. Cuéntame, Jennifer, algo. Si llegas a conocer un caballero de Estados Unidos, ¿tú estarías dispuesta a irte a vivir allá?
Sí, claro que sí. Tengo la disposición de poder cambiarme de país.
Y si te preguntan cuál sería tu cita perfecta, ¿qué dirías?
Mi cita perfecta sería salir a cenar en un lugar tranquilo, poder conocer y dialogar primero. Luego del diálogo previo, sería muy agradable poder salir a bailar.
¡Wow!
Claro.
Le gusta mucho bailar. ¿Estarías dispuesta a enseñarle a esos hombres?
Claro que sí, soy de Barranquilla, una ciudad alegre y donde sabemos bailar muy bien.
Mover las caderas, como dice la canción de Shakira. Bueno, chicos, gracias Jennifer por acompañarnos esta noche. Ya saben, si desean conocer a Jennifer, una hermosa chica barranquillera dispuesta a enseñarles a bailar, a mover esas caderas, esos hombros. Su ID es 210-297. Jen, un mensajito que le quieras dejar a todos esos chicos.
Para todos les quiero decir que es muy agradable poder darse la oportunidad de conocer una mujer barranquillera, alegre, contenta y que sabe bailar.
Bueno, gracias.
Hasta luego.
Hola, hola, soy yo otra vez Alexa. En esta oportunidad les quiero presentar a nuestra bella afiliada Paola. Paola tiene su ID número 207499. Paola, ¿cómo estás?
Muy bien.
Estás muy sexy.
Ay, gracias.
Como toda buena mujer paisa.
Obvio, las paisas ante todo.
Qué chévere, Pau, ¿qué tal el evento? ¿Qué tal la noche? ¿Qué tal todo?
Excelente. Muy, muy grato el evento. Me encantó. Las traductoras muy queridas, los caballeros muy amables, todo el personal que les ayuda a ustedes muy gentil. Muy, muy bueno, o sea, excelente todo.
Qué bueno, se le puede ver en tu sonrisa, tienes una bella sonrisa.
Gracias.
Paola, cuéntanos, ¿cuántos años tienes?
44.
¿Y tienes hijos? ¿De qué edad?
Tengo una hija que tiene 24 años, ya está casada, entonces prácticamente ya soy solita.
Para buscar a tu amor.
Sí, ya tengo todo el tiempo. que es importante.
Porque al amor hay que dedicarle tiempo. A veces estamos tan ocupados que ni siquiera nos damos cuenta y la vida se nos va pasando.
Así es, totalmente de acuerdo.
Paula, ¿y cuáles son esas cualidades quizás más importantes que te gustaría encontrar en tu caballero?
La honestidad, la lealtad, un hombre divertido, me encanta que me haga reír, detallista, atractivo. Y no solamente físicamente, o sea, atractivo en todos los sentidos.
Porque hay atracciones que no son físicas.
Es que hay atracciones que no son físicas y muchas veces uno puede hacer clic incluso hasta con un hombre que no sea exactamente.
Nos ha pasado, nos ha pasado.
Sí.
Paula, y cuéntame un poquito, si pudieses elegir un lugar perfecto para una cita ideal, ¿cuál sería?
En el mar.
¿Algún destino en especial?
No, pero que tenga el mar, me encanta el mar. El anochecer en el mar me fascina.
Bueno, que vengan acá y se llevan a Paula a la bella Cartagena.
Sí, o San Andrés, o sí, que tenga playa, me encanta el mar, me fascina. Sí.
Vale, vamos a ver qué preguntas nos tiene por ahí el destino. Vamos a elegir una preguntita. Chucu, 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 chucu. ¿Qué es? Vamos a ver. ¿Qué dice?
Vaya.
A ver. ¿Te gustan los animales?
Amo, ay, los amo.
¿Cuál es tu animal preferido y por qué?
Tengo 4 perros de razas grandes. Tengo una pitbull, tengo un bull y tengo otra criollita. Entonces los amo, los adoro. Y para mí una persona que ama los animales demuestra lo que son. Porque si una persona no quiere los animales...
Sí, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Ahí sí lo comparto.
Tanto maltrato, tanto abandono. O sea, es injusto con seres que lo único que hacen con uno es darle amor.
Amor y bondad, eso sí es verdad, eso sí es verdad. Bueno, vamos a ver otra preguntita, Paola, otra para cerrar la noche y que estos caballeros conozcan. Si quieren ya saber un poquito más de Paola, ya saben que pueden contactarla a su ID 207499. ¿Qué 3 deseos se le pediría si viene un genio con la lámpara más?
El primer deseo, que mi hija sea eterna. Yo creo que lo que más ama uno como madre son sus hijos, entonces solamente uno de pensar que a uno le van a faltar, le quiebra a uno bastante el corazón y el ánimo. El segundo deseo, erradicar la violencia. O sea, estamos en un mundo demasiado complicado, demasiada violencia, demasiadas muertes, demasiadas cosas y sería triste, o sea, ojalá tuviéramos tanta paz. Y el segundo, el tercero, la salud. ¿Qué haríamos nosotros sin salud? Yo creo que sería salud.
Qué bonitos tus deseos, de verdad los comparto, de verdad que sí. Bueno, Paula, dile a esos caballeros que estás aquí, que eres real, que eres una mujer paisa, bella, hermosa, real.
Bella, animada, carismática, querida.
Sí.
Gracias.
Hola, buenas noches y en esta oportunidad nos encontramos con Silvia, una de las hermosas chicas que está inscrita con nosotros en la agencia. ¿Cómo estás, Silvia?
Súper bien, gracias. ¿Y tú cómo estás?
Muy bien, muchas gracias por acompañarnos esta noche.
Con mucho gusto.
Bueno, Silvia, queremos saber un poquito más de ti. Entonces queremos empezar por estas 3 cualidades que te describan a ti como persona, que son, mejor dicho, tu carta de presentación.
Bueno, primero soy una persona muy responsable, tengo muchas metas en mi vida y todo lo que me propongo lo cumplo afortunadamente, obviamente con mucho esfuerzo, pero lo propongo, lo cumplo. Y algo que me apasiona mucho, me describe mucho es la aviación.
Ay, qué bien, ¿te gusta la aviación? ¿Te dedicas a eso?
Soy tripulante de cargo.
Qué bueno, y cuéntanos un poquito más de ti, por ejemplo, ¿qué te gusta hacer en tu tiempo libre? ¿Con quién vives?
Vivo sola, me gusta mucho viajar. Me gusta ver series, películas, salir a comer, compartir con mis amigas, con mi familia.
Súper. Qué rico. ¿Y qué estás buscando en un caballero?
Bueno, en un hombre me gustaría una buena compañía, que me haga sentir muy especial, que sea muy caballeroso, ya, que me dé felicidad por mi vida.
Qué bueno. Y bueno, este es tu primer evento, ¿cierto? ¿Y qué te ha parecido hasta ahora?
Por ahora está muy bien, me gusta mucho la presentación, me ha parecido muy agradable.
Bueno, y cuéntanos un poco, ¿qué buscas tú, por ejemplo, en un caballero de otra ciudad, de otro país?
Bueno, primero me gustaría mucho lo que es mejorar mi inglés, compartir diferentes culturas, tanto la mía como la de ellos, y ya, viajar por muchos lados, conocernos y compartir momentos agradables.
¿Y tú estarías dispuesta a vivir en otro país diferente a Colombia?
De hecho, es una de las cosas que he querido desde muy joven, irme a vivir a otro país.
Qué bueno, esperemos lo puedas encontrar también aquí, un caballero que realmente conecte contigo y con el que puedas empezar una nueva vida.
Sí.
Bueno, y para esos caballeros que están interesados en conocer a Silvia, su ID es el 209642. Muchas gracias, Silvia, por acompañarnos esta noche.
Muy bien, gracias.
Guys, that were our three beautiful women. I hope you liked them, and I hope you will reach out to them or let us know how we can help you to get in touch. One of you already reached out to me and sent me an email. Chris, I think. Let me check. Chris, yes. Chris, you were writing me that you are interested in meeting Colombian women as soon as possible. So that's amazing. Thank you for reaching out. I will get back to you tomorrow and let you know how that's the easiest way. But if you want to get to know Colombian women as soon as possible, I would recommend you two things. First of all, is get on the website and look at the profiles and maybe create a hot list or write down some IDs of women you might want to get to know. And if you don't know how to do that, as I said, tomorrow I will explain it to you. And also have your travel date clear, because how want to meet if you're not going to travel at some point? You don't have to travel right away. You can do a video call first. You can write a letter first, but I would recommend you having that in mind, that if there's, I would rather than not just saying, oh, I write a letter and then if there's a connection, I go, or I would do a video call and then if I feel the connection, I go. I really rather would just go. I mean, you can do, obviously video calls are amazing. I love the video calls. I do think you can select obviously a little bit more, but it doesn't really matter. For you in your mind has to be like, I go. And you can obviously, okay, I will go. Obviously before I go, I will do 5 video calls. That is totally fine. But the mindset has to be, I go, right? And if you're not thinking that, then it will be difficult to find somebody, because just virtually it will not happen. So if you are interested to go, have your travel date clear, know more or less the amount of women you would like to meet, have your photos at hand. I really recommend you good photos, invest in a professional photo shooting. Guys, it's my #1 recommendation to be successful in dating, especially internationally, long distance, far away. She, like what we do with her, like we invest in good photos, or she does invest in good photos. So we do the photo shootings with her, right? And so it makes a huge difference if you have a good photo, and that is for the men the same. You don't have to be a top model, you don't have to look like Brad Pitt, but you have to be well presented, and that means you have nice clothes on, you have a good lighting, you look, like in a good environment. It's not like all messy, all horrible there. You don't do a selfie in the dark bathroom where you half naked. Those photos don't really work, okay? So it has to be probably, like, you can try, but then you will get a lot of rejection. So invest in your photos. So that would be like a huge recommendation from me too. So I think I got lost. We were talking about something, but I got lost. I was seeing here, you were asking guys who were signing up for September and going on the dates and all that. So yeah, if you want to go and date, and then was it in Colombia, and you as soon as possible interested, then do that. Have your profile information, have your photos, know more or less the woman you want to meet, or more or less the type of woman you want to meet, or more or less the age range if you don't know who, but go on the website and maybe pick some. And then say, I want somebody similar if it's not her, because it helps us as matchmaker to see the photos, to see the physical. So if you can select some, that would be really helpful. And then we obviously say, oh no, I would not recommend this one, or I don't think with what you're looking for, she's not looking for children, so I don't recommend you going on the date with her. But we have an idea what is your taste, yeah? And that's it. And then you pay. You do the deposit, depending what service you do. If you do individual dates, if you do the Latin club, if you do the tours or whatever, and we set you up with everything. So, Chris, I will get back to you tomorrow to your reply. But thank you for reaching out, and I'm happy that you would like to meet as soon as possible somebody in Colombia. I think that is amazing. So let me get to your last questions, and then we're done for tonight. As I said, if there's anything I didn't answer, please reach out. I know at some of you, I still owe you replies. Guys, you write a lot. thank you so much for reaching out. I'm actually getting assistance finally, and we're getting a lot better. And you're going to get a lot of quick replies in the future from Colombia. I'm really sorry, but we got a little bit overwhelmed with everything going on. So thank you very much for reaching out. And lots of you want like a lot of information, and we also have a lot of guys right now being here, you know, so we have to find the balance too. But I'm very excited that you guys are looking forward or you're so excited to come, and so many of you are asking. So let me get back to you tomorrow. Dave is saying Medellin is a very cosmopolitan city, but at times I feel has lost some Colombian savor. I don't know. It depends where you go. I do agree with you that the poblado did change a lot, and now you hear a lot of English on the street and not so much Spanish anymore. So that is true. But if you go outside of the poblado, Medellin is still very Medellin, and has a lot of different things to offer. Like you can do anything and see everything you want in Medellin, from good to bad. And for very interesting, like they're really cool places to go in Medellin. Like they're very local places to go, but go with a local, you know, the tourists maybe don't know. So if you date a woman, go with a woman, she will know where to go. And yeah, so I think I actually answered probably all of your questions right now. So thank you guys so much for coming, for tuning in tonight. Thank you for always participating. We love that. Manuela will be back next week. Don't forget to sign up for Medellin. If you think about it, next tour is August, Barranquilla. After that one is also already filling up quite a bit. So if you think about August, also, I would not wait forever. And yeah, guys, I see you soon. And thank you for being here. Bye. See you soon.
Hoy estamos con Jennifer, su ID es 210-297. ¿Cómo estás, Jenny?
Muy bien, muchas gracias.
¿Cómo te sientes?
En esta ocasión me siento muy contenta, me siento muy alegre, es un espacio muy agradable.
Bueno, me alegra mucho. Jennifer, ¿qué expectativas tienes? ¿Qué esperas encontrarte hoy en este evento?
Realmente espero conocer personas agradables, en la medida que se pueda lograr encontrar el amor de mi vida, alguien con quien pueda compenetrar y poder encontrar el cariño.
Qué lindas esas palabras, Jen. Bueno, cuéntanos un poquito a todos esos chicos que te están mirando, ¿a qué te dedicas?
Soy nutricionista, soy de Barranquilla, trabajo acá en Medellín hace ya 11 años, soy una apasionada por lo que hago, me gusta mi labor social.
Qué lindo eso. ¿Cuántos años tienes?
Tengo 38 años.
No, una edad súper divina, y con ese vestido, a ver, una vueltecita con ese vestido, mejor dicho, o sea, un vestido rojo reluciente para esta noche de evento. Ahora vamos a hacer la dinámica de sacar unas preguntitas. Jen, vas a sacar una preguntita. Dale, y ahorita sacamos la otra. A ver, vamos a mirarlos allá.
¿Qué 3 deseos le pedirías a una lámpara mágica?
¡Wow!
El primer deseo sería poder cumplir a cabalidad la crianza con mi hija. Tengo una hija de 13 años. El segundo deseo, poder acompañarla en su caminar. Y el tercero, lograr encontrar una persona con quien pueda disfrutar todo el camino de mi vida.
Qué bonito eso. Vamos por otra preguntita.
¿Cuáles son los valores que más te gustarían en un caballero? Bueno, idealmente el respeto, ante todo una persona honesta y una persona sincera.
Lo más bonito, ya saben lo que está buscando Jennifer, así que chicos, si ustedes se consideran caballeros respetuosos, responsables y amorosos, aquí está Jennifer para poder conversar con ustedes. Jen,
la última. Listo. ¿Eres de mente abierta o más conservadora? Realmente pienso que todo debe tener un equilibrio, ¿cierto? Hay momentos en los que debemos de tener apertura para las situaciones y otros los que realmente se debe ser conservador. Siento que estoy como en un término medio.
Bueno, interesante saber eso. Cuéntame, Jennifer, algo. Si llegas a conocer un caballero de Estados Unidos, ¿tú estarías dispuesta a irte a vivir allá?
Sí, claro que sí. Tengo la disposición de poder cambiarme de país.
Y si te preguntan cuál sería tu cita perfecta, ¿qué dirías?
Mi cita perfecta sería salir a cenar en un lugar tranquilo, poder conocer y dialogar primero. Luego del diálogo previo, sería muy agradable poder salir a bailar.
¡Wow!
Bailar.
Le gusta mucho bailar. ¿Estarías dispuesta a enseñarle a esos hombres?
Claro que sí, soy de Barranquilla, una ciudad alegre y donde sabemos bailar muy bien.
Mover las caderas, como dice la canción de Shakira. Bueno, chicos, gracias Jennifer por acompañarnos esta noche. Ya saben, si desean conocer a Jennifer, una hermosa chica barranquillera dispuesta a enseñarles a bailar, a mover esas caderas, esos hombros. Su ID es 210-297. Jen, un mensajito que le quieras dejar a todos esos chicos.
Para todos les quiero decir que es muy agradable poder darse la oportunidad de conocer una mujer barranquillera, alegre, contenta y que sabe bailar.
Bueno, gracias.
Hasta luego.
Hola, hola, soy yo otra vez Alexa. En esta oportunidad les quiero presentar a nuestra bella afiliada Paola. Paola tiene su ID número 207499. Paola, ¿cómo estás?
Muy bien.
Estás muy sexy.
Ay, gracias.
Como toda buena mujer paisa.
Obvio, las paisas ante todo.
Qué chévere, Pau, ¿qué tal el evento? ¿Qué tal la noche? ¿Qué tal todo?
Excelente. Muy, muy grato el evento. Me encantó. Las traductoras muy queridas, los caballeros muy amables, todo el personal que les ayuda a ustedes muy gentil. Muy, muy bueno, o sea, excelente todo.
Qué bueno, se te puede ver en tu sonrisa, tienes una bella sonrisa.
Gracias.
Paola, cuéntanos, ¿cuántos años tienes?
44.
¿Tienes hijos? ¿De qué edad?
Tengo una hija que tiene 24 años, ya está casada, entonces prácticamente ya soy solita.
Para buscar a tu amor.
Sí, ya tengo todo el tiempo, que es importante.
Porque al amor hay que dedicarle tiempo. A veces estamos tan ocupados que ni siquiera nos damos cuenta y la vida se nos va pasando.
Así es, totalmente de acuerdo.
Paula, ¿y cuáles son esas cualidades quizás más importantes que te gustaría encontrar en tu caballero?
La honestidad, la lealtad, un hombre divertido, me encanta que me haga reír, detallista, atractivo. Y no solamente físicamente, o sea, atractivo en todos los sentidos.
Porque hay atracciones que no son físicas.
Es que hay atracciones que no son físicas y muchas veces uno puede hacer clic incluso hasta con un hombre que no sea exactamente.
Nos ha pasado, nos ha pasado.
Sí.
Paula, y cuéntame un poquito, si pudieses elegir un lugar perfecto para una cita ideal, ¿cuál sería?
En el mar.
¿Algún destino en especial?
No, pero que tenga el mar, me encanta el mar. El anochecer en el mar me fascina.
Bueno, que vengan acá y se llevan a Paula a la bella Cartagena.
Sí, o San Andrés, o sí, que tenga playa, me encanta el mar, me fascina. Sí.
Vale, vamos a ver qué preguntas nos tienes por ahí el destino. Vamos a elegir una preguntita. ¿Qué? Vamos a ver. ¿Qué dice?
Vaya.
A ver. ¿Te gustan los animales?
Amo, ay, los amo.
¿Cuál es tu animal preferido y por qué?
Tengo 4 perros de razas grandes. Tengo una pitbull, tengo un bull y tengo otra criollita. Entonces los amo, los adoro. Y para mí una persona que ama los animales demuestra lo que son. Porque si una persona no quiere los animales...
Sí, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Ahí sí lo comparto.
Tanto maltrato, tanto abandono. O sea, es injusto con seres que lo único que hacen con uno es darle amor.
Amor y bondad, eso sí es verdad, eso sí es verdad. Bueno, Paloma, a ver, otra preguntita, Paola, otra para cerrar la noche. Y que estos caballeros conozcan, si quieren ya saber un poquito más de Paola, ya saben que pueden contactarla a su ID 207499. ¿Qué 3 deseos le pedirías si viene un genio con la lámpara más?
El primer deseo, que mi hija sea eterna. Yo creo que lo que más ama uno como madre son sus hijos, entonces solamente uno de pensar que a uno le van a faltar, le quiebra a uno bastante el corazón y el ánimo. El segundo deseo, erradicar la violencia. O sea, estamos en un mundo demasiado complicado, demasiada violencia, demasiadas muertes, demasiadas cosas y sería triste, o sea, ojalá tuviéramos tanta paz. Y el segundo, el tercero, la salud. ¿Qué haríamos nosotros sin salud? Yo creo que sería salud.
Qué bonitos tus deseos, de verdad los comparto, de verdad que sí. Bueno, Paula, dile a esos caballeros que estás aquí, que eres real, que eres una mujer paisa, bella, hermosa, real.
Paisa, bella, animada, carismática, querida.
Sí.
Gracias.
Hola, buenas noches. Y en esta oportunidad nos encontramos con Silvia, una de las hermosas chicas que está inscrita con nosotros en la agencia. ¿Cómo estás, Silvia?
Súper bien, gracias. ¿Y tú cómo estás?
Muy bien, muchas gracias por acompañarnos esta noche.
Con mucho gusto.
Bueno, Silvia, queremos saber un poquito más de ti. Entonces queremos empezar por estas 3 cualidades que te describan a ti como persona, que son, mejor dicho, tu carta de presentación.
Bueno, primero soy una persona muy responsable, tengo muchas metas en mi vida y todo lo que me propongo lo cumplo afortunadamente, obviamente con mucho esfuerzo, pero lo propongo, lo cumplo. Y algo que me apasiona mucho, me describe mucho es la aviación.
Ay, qué bien, ¿te gusta la aviación? ¿Te dedicas a eso?
Soy tripulante de cargo.
Qué bueno, y cuéntanos un poquito más de ti, por ejemplo, ¿qué te gusta hacer en tu tiempo libre? ¿Con quién vives?
Vivo sola, me gusta mucho viajar. Me gusta ver series, películas, salir a comer, compartir con mis amigas, con mi familia.
Súper. Qué rico. ¿Y qué estás buscando en un caballero?
Bueno, en un hombre me gustaría una buena compañía, que me haga sentir muy especial, que sea muy caballeroso, ya, que me dé felicidad por mi vida.
Qué bueno. Y bueno, este es tu primer evento, ¿cierto? ¿Y qué te ha parecido hasta ahora?
Por ahora está muy bien, me gusta mucho la presentación, me ha parecido muy agradable.
Bueno, y cuéntanos un poco. ¿Qué buscas tú, por ejemplo, en un caballero de otra ciudad, de otro país?
Bueno, primero me gustaría mucho lo que es mejorar mi inglés, compartir diferentes culturas, tanto la mía como la de ellos, y ya, viajar por muchos lados, conocernos y compartir momentos agradables.
¿Y tú estarías dispuesta a vivir en otro país diferente a Colombia?
De hecho, es una de las cosas que he querido desde muy joven, irme a vivir a otro país.
Qué bueno, esperemos lo puedas encontrar también aquí, un caballero que realmente conecte contigo y con el que puedas empezar una nueva vida.
Sí.
Bueno, y para esos caballeros